Well, haven't made a video in a while, but I guess I cannot skip the OWC one. For me, it's already a tradition of sorts. I've been making them for the past few years, just can't break it. If you watched previous ones, I guess you noticed a little change, because, well, I don't speak Russian here, and it's not the only change I will make. Would not necessarily review so much like I did before. Instead, I will focus more on everything else that happened throughout the tournament. But of course I'll show you some funny moments, that's for sure. After the qualifiers, everyone were talking about two teams, Chile and Indonesia to be precise. They qualified as 4th and 5th place, and many people started predicting those as top 3 contenders. I was scared to see Russia vs Chile round of 16, because I wanted Russian team to move as far as possible. But nevertheless, Mother Russia defeated Chile with relative ease, and so did Hong Kong, because despite expectations, it won the match vs Indonesia. While people were predicting Chile vs Indonesia match quarterfinals, it happened to be Russia vs Hong Kong instead. Unfortunately for me, Russia lost to Hong Kong on a tiebreaker, but I was happy to see Hong Kong improving so much and finishing as top 6 team.
No fail. One of the best additions to the tournament scene, I think, ever.
And overall, quarterfinals were pretty exciting, because you don't usually see 5 tiebreakers in 1 week. By the way, there was one interesting match in quarterfinals. I mean, China vs Taiwan. Interesting from a political side of things, of course. Oh, this video is not about politics. Back to Russia though. It now falls to the losers bracket to face Australia in semi-finals. From what I saw, Russia played horribly that match, and I could say the same about the opponent. It was funny to watch though, and the funny thing is how Russia lost it. The match was relatively early for Russians, about 11 PM Moscow time, and most of the players had just woke up, except Talala. He did not sleep at all. As I started to realize that Russia is not going to win this one, I focused more on watching Talala's stream.
Давайте НМ6.
Че, мне зайти?
Б-ранг нахуй ФК.
Б-ранг ФК. Я пошел. Никто меня не инвайтил. Вот этот пиксель кинул инвайт. Наконец-то.
Парни.
Ой.
Давайте, good luck, я наблюдаю.
Выхожу на первую карту за турик. Растрясочную. Как вы видите, мой перформанс на этой карте просто незабываемый. Как вы понимаете, от меня чего-то большего ожидать не стоит. Ну все, пошло! Пошло, изи ФК. Я играю с первым в мире человеком. Я в мульти с Мареком, ура! А чё have fun? От чего тут удовольствие получать? На этой драчне получить удовольствие? Это шутка? А если испугаюсь?
Well, we could skip the rest. For me, this OWC was more enjoyable than previous one, just because Talala streamed the entire thing. Sure, he is not as strong as a player anymore, and probably it is last OWC year for him, but I think that's the funniest way to end his career. He's 9th OWC, by the way.
Ну, по-моему, я гений.
The next team I want to talk about is UK. For me, they appeared as a strong top 3 contender this year, and I was personally favoring them. UK qualified as 8th seed and faced Singapore in their first game. Then they fought a heavy battle with South Korea. Unlike last year, they knocked them to the losers bracket and faced USA in the quarterfinals, which is not good for any team. But at first UK was actually leading, 2 points against nothing. Unfortunately, it didn't last for long, and US of course started recovering pretty easily. But as British guys said,
barring a few minor mistakes, that could have been just as easily the other way around, 6-3.
and I personally believe them. Going further, UK fall to the losers bracket to face either Australia or Russia, and we all know who faced UK.
Это не Б?
I thought UK would definitely win this one, but Australia changed my expectations really quickly, because they were leading pretty much for the entire game. It's just that UK's team recovered and easily won the tiebreaker at the end, securing their finals appearance.
Wow, what a match.
What an unbelievable match between these two teams. I mean, we saw obviously Australia was up at some point, looking very, very strong, having UK on the back foot, and UK managing to pull it back from 5-3. Bubbleman just going so strong on that one. Kingling obviously there to support as well as Blue at the beginning. And unfortunately for Team Australia, it was just not enough for them.
But let's go back a little to see what happened to South Korea in the losers bracket. Would have never thought, but they are top 3 team this year. What an incredible losers bracket run. Through Norway, Brazil, Japan, Romania, Hong Kong and Canada, all the way to grand finals. When the last week of the tournament started, I knew what I wanted to see. I hoped Germany will win against USA, and then South Korea would do the same. If that happened, it would have been best RWC in a while. I'm not kidding. Because it's not interesting to see same team winning every year. But what's actually happened is completely the opposite. Germany lost to US in the winners bracket, won South Korea in the losers bracket, and then lost to US again in the last match of the tournament. US team dominated OWC since 2015, only losing to Poland in 2017, and literally destroying every team in 2019, losing only 3 points for the entire tournament. It's not a healthy competition, that's what I wanna say. Oh, by the way, Germany vs South Korea match was actually pretty exciting. At first, German team looked really good, as they were leading 6-2. However, South Korean team managed to recover, forcing tiebreaker, but unfortunately losing it. Third place though, from a team I didn't really expect it to be the contender for that. Cool stuff.
So much for this South Korea team throughout the years, even though they go in as once again the mainstay duo here on the tiebreaker.
Even though
this single play is what matters. This single play from the German squad, 3 members over that 300k mark, bring them into the grand finals against the United States for the second time in this tournament, for the second time in 2 years.
Flying Tuna went to military service right after grand finals weekend, so it's his last OWC in a while. He played incredibly throughout the tournament, and he is one of the reasons why South Korea took such a high position this year. Congratulations to him for such a high placing, and I hope to see him around after he's done with his military. Another thing I want to cover is the map pool, because this year's pool had really cool things. I even liked some tiebreakers and no mod 2s, which I usually don't. Let me show you a compilation I made.
So far, Russia off to the much more solid start.
Yeah, much better accuracy from Russia at the start. Leva, though, is going to find the first drop.
For the real spicy part of this one. They're kicking off soon. Not quite there yet, but it's happening about the halfway point. All breaks are starting to come out now. Daiichi first break.
players for the same slot, and they're still going to do well, right? Hopefully here.
Yep, so we're looking at those core players on Taiwan in Dazzle and Shield. If we
I was about to say Goose Fedora is a tech map enjoyer and enthusiast, but apparently he missed pretty early.
Into a chorus. Lots of squares, wide angle jumps, all the way across your screen. Very pattern oriented. GS Blank finds a miss. Slower section between the jump patterns. Claims his combo, and the jump patterns themselves claim Kug and net 1.
Off to a good start.
So it's to his team to put the shift in. Blind Tuner though still rocking that FC, rock solid at the moment. It's still with UK with 3 FCs to 2.
As all of these combos can drop at just a moment's notice. There goes Masta, the second full combo gone for Sweden at this point. Blue follows shortly afterwards with a break of his own. And Machine drops once again for Australia. Definitely.
everyone getting through the first A's. And it's still Cuckoo and
This next part of the map where those breaks are so common to find, the part where the intensity of the song can create that extra mental pressure. We'll see if it weighs down on anyone, if anybody finds those breaks inconsistency during this part of the map.
Might have been a massive lead. Oh, this is super hard to come back from. Actually, we've got even less map than it looks like because there's a slow section here. Emric and Doomy's still on the full combo, and there's no one to answer.
The worst part as well is that this slow section also goes into a very, very hard build-up. You know, it starts to speed up. It gets really, really tricky from this point onwards. And, you know, if you're going to hold on, I think holding on through this part is going to be one of the hardest things to do. But all players do manage.
Quite a lot of drops. Kriller down now as well. It's only Whitecat with the FC for Germany, and this recovery from Canada is a little scary right now for the German roster.
It's the classic, the first map. The first minute or so is always so chaotic, but I mean, maybe potentially.
But so are those FCs from Hong Kong, but 4 against 2. What can they do?
Nothing yet. They've not had any opportunities to try and steal something back. South Korea continue.
There you go.
See another drop from Carthy right before the KI time, but Xylus follows it right up for Canada. Blue dropping the second full comp.
So that's what's keeping it so close. Is the fact that Korea's mods are struggling more than Canada's at the moment, and it is
holding, but even as Kriller drops, it's still 2 full combos for Germany. 3 quarters of the way through the map.
It's always Whitecat does this. Every time they go, they just do it together. They like feed off each other's energy, and when one FCs, the other person does as well. Tuna
continues to push on for the United States, being the only player above 500,000 score right now, and Taquito will be the one to bring the United States to.
And of course, I could not forget to mention Grand Finals Tiebreaker, mapped by 4 different people and featuring an incredible custom song by you. Well, this year's OWC was interesting to watch, as always. But nothing really impressive happened, apart from Hong Kong being top 6 and South Korea being top 3. I'm certainly looking forward for the next OWC, and if I'll see it, I'll definitely recap it. Don't really know if I'll be able to see it though. Maybe I'll end up in the military, but let's hope for the better. I have a feeling that next year's OWC will be great and exciting. You don't wanna miss it. Stay safe, and I wish you a happy new year.